were they?
Fuck yeah! Woo! Got him! Holy shit! I got you! Let me work on that!
Man, the wait is finally over. Battlefield 6 is here, and man, this is the Battlefield we've been waiting for. It actually seems like DICE has finally listened to its fan base because Battlefield 6 is good. I've been having a lot of fun with the new weapons, the new maps, and the new gun customization. It's mwah. But I do have a few critiques. So, let's get into that. So, the campaign for Battlefield 6 is basically the tutorial for the multiplayer. The campaign starts with the game telling you what's been going on in this world.
Force is how we keep the peace.
Just to start, where does this end?
Then you meet the main protagonist of our game, you meet our squad, and then literally 30 seconds later, you're attacked. After surviving that attack, you and your new squad breaks into this chick's house and demanding answers for what's been happening. Then each mission is basically teaching you the fundamentals of Battlefield 6, like learning how to use the guns and vehicle combat, take control of these cool drones that drop bombs, and this mortar that shoots controllable missiles. You even get to use the new breaching hammer, which I kind of like. It's cool. It's like from Rainbow Six Siege. It's basically the same concept. Honestly, this campaign has its moments, like the mission where you chase a subway train, which ends in you having to blow up part of a bridge. Then that morning, you're having a literally firefight in the streets of New York, which leads to you actually meeting the President of the United States. Hell, even in that campaign, you get to blow up a dam. The writing is so predictable. I knew how this story was going to play out, well, like way after meeting the black chick. But about the time I got to the end of the campaign and the credits roll, I was satisfied. Like I said, it had its cool moments. The writing was predictable, but you know what? I had fun. So when it comes to the multiplayer, the gunplay is still really fun. It's always been tight, responsive, and the guns sound great. They still got that punch to them that I love. But that's what I always loved about the Battlefield games. Like, they really let you play how you want. If you want to stay out of sight and be a sniper and snipe players from a distance, it lets you do that. Or if you want to be in the front, be a support, heal, give your teammates ammo, revive your teammates while laying down cover fire with your LMG, like, you can do that too. I mean, the game gives you the freedom to play how you want. Unlike COD, which the name of the game is running and gunning and who has the best meta weapon build. And so the game gives you a pretty sizable chunk of guns to use. They give you about 45 guns to play with, and it's a pretty good selection of guns to put holes in people. The other thing I always liked about the Battlefield guns is how they're pretty grounded in reality. I would say, like how the assault rifles, SMGs, and car bombs are only really effective at medium to close ranges because of the bullet drop after about medium range. The best guns to use if you really want to run and gun, to me. That's why you have the LMGs and the DMRs if you want to do a more medium to long range combat. If you want to stay a little bit more out of like the close quarters like combat, and you want to be a little bit more stationary and like shoot from a distance or more shoot from a covered position, I would more lean to the LMGs and DMRs. But last but not least, let's get to the sniper rifles, which are meant to be used at extremely long ranges. Some people can use them at medium ranges, but they meant for like really long ranges. So my advice is you should be at least 100 meters away, so it make it harder for you to be seen by the other players, like especially people with LMGs and DMRs. But you want to also be careful of other snipers on the map. Especially once you see that glint, you should be trying to move out the way, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably already too late. So yeah, it's still really good, still really fun, and I've been killing it with the new gunplay. Also, what helps is the new Gunsmith they added to the loadouts, which even adds even more variety to the gunplay. Now, let's get into these controls, because honestly, the controls still feel good. The new movement does make the game feel a lot faster, but sometimes too fast. But they have added some new mechanics to this battlefield. Like, the movement now, you can peek from behind cover, feels a whole lot smoother, and it is pretty useful. I don't really use it. Like, only time I really use it is when I got my LMG and I'm trying to lay down some suppressing fire. And now when you jump from high enough, you can do a combat roll from taking fall damage, which I forget to do a lot of the times because I'm not used to having to press B when jumping out of a building. But the problem I have with the movement now is that a lot of times the matches feel like I'm playing Call of Duty a lot of the times. So, and other players move so goddamn fast in this, sometimes it can be hard to kill. I mean, honestly, like people be moving, and not to mention now everybody's bunny hopping around because now dice put in you can shoot while you jump now, and you can cancel your slide into jumping, or you can jump, or you can slide backwards now. So, so now everybody's just sliding and jumping around the damn map, and honestly, it can make combat really frustrating sometimes. So they really should have not made it as fast as it is. But I kind of get it. They want to get a more broader audience to come play. But to me, it was unnecessary. I mean, if people wanted to play that, that's why they got Call of Duty. And if people want a much slower pace game, that's why they got Battlefield. So, I don't know. So we'll just have to see. Maybe with some tweaks and some nerfs, they can make it a little bit more balanced. But for right now, it's a bit of a pain to me. So one of the new things they added to the loadouts is like the Gunsmith from Call of Duty, and it's a really nice touch. Now you can fully customize your guns. Now you can put different barrels, muzzles, lasers, flashlight, magazines, underbarrels, optics, bullets, optical accessories, and ergonomics all on one gun now. See, and why that's a big deal is before you had to have an underbarrel, like a grip or anything, you couldn't have a laser too. Or if you wanted a longer barrel so you can shoot people at a longer distance, you couldn't put a muzzle brake on it. So you had to choose between one or the other. And I'm glad they finally separated all that. So now you can put all of that on one gun now. You can have a longer barrel, and you can have a muzzle, and you can have a grip, and you can have a flashlight, and you can have a laser. You can have a little ergonomic thing on the side so you can turn your gun sideways and shoot with iron sights if you got like a longer range scope, if you do get into close quarters combat. And yeah, you can come up with some pretty unique combinations for the guns now, and it's balanced, unlike COD's Gunsmith, where you can make some of the most broken laser point ass guns in the game, and it literally breaks the game all the time. But not with this. They balance it out really nice. So yeah, you can come up with some pretty unique combinations as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. Just like in any Battlefield, you got your classes, but they did something a little different this time around. Each class now has a signature set. You get one signature gadget, one signature weapon, and one signature trait. One of the cool things they did with the classes is to give them training paths. Each class start out with one path already unlocked, but it also gives you abilities that you can unlock in game. So, but you do have to unlock the second training path doing class challenges. So the assault rifle class gets an adrenaline injector that increases the movement speed, and is proficient at assault rifles, and it gets one gadget slot where you can equip a shotgun, SMG, or carbine. So with the engineering class, you get the trademark repair tool, and is proficient as SMGs, and you get one gadget slot for launchers, and the training path is anti-armor. The support class gets a support bag that heals and gives ammunition and restocks your gadgets, and is proficient in LMGs. And one gadget slot is for support gadgets like the defibrillators. And the training path you start out with is combat medic. With the recon class, you get a motion sensor, which it basically detects the enemy opponents as long as they're moving, and they're proficient at sniper rifles. And they get one gadget slot for recon gadgets, like you start out with the recon drone, and the training path is sniper. And for some of the weapons and everything else, you basically have to do challenges, which is like getting a certain score or getting a certain number of kills with the assault rifle or getting kills at a certain distance with the recon class. So yeah, basically, I actually enjoyed the way they went about this time around, and I think a lot of people are too. So DICE actually made a new mode for Battlefield 6, and it's called Escalation, and honestly, it's really fun. Think of it as a twist on Conquest, but in each team has the capture objective, and whoever holds the most objectives and fills the bar at the top of the screen basically wins. And when you fill that bar, the team gets a point, and one of the objectives disappear, and the map actually gets smaller, and the first team to 3 points wins. This is actually a really cool mode, and it's pretty balanced. You get a lot of back and forth. For instance, one team can be up 2 points and the other one can have 0, and the team with 0 actually can come back. And once it's 2-2, the game goes into overtime and it's only 3 flags left, and the game gets really chaotic then. I get a lot of comeback victories. You could be down 2 points in a momentum shift, and then we come back to win it. So for now, this is one of my favorite modes until they bring out some more with the new expansions that's coming out. So now let's get to the sound design. Like in any Battlefield game, the sound design is still amazing. Gunfights in the distance while hearing the tanks fighting in the background, and then hearing jets fly by while they dropping bombs and watching the tanks explode, like literally right next to you, is still amazing. Man, in Battlefield, to me, has some of the best explosion sound effects in any like multiplayer game. That's why I always love blowing up vehicles, tanks, aircrafts, every chance I get, just to hear that boom, and how much weight and impact those explosions have. Look, you can say what you want about the Battlefield games, but they always had amazing sound design. The guns sound like they got a lot of weight and power to them. Like shooting somebody in the head with the sniper rifle and hearing that ping, and that sound effect when you shoot, when you actually get that headshot. It all just still sounds amazing. So let's get into these maps. So the good thing is you do get 9 maps, and they're okay. They're completely serviceable maps. But the problem I have is for most of the maps, the terrain is very flat and boring. There's no elevation, there's no undergrounds, there's no creativity. These are some of the most bland maps I have ever played in my life. And outside of the buildings, that's the only real elevation you get. Also, there are no weather effects like in Battlefield 2042, like the giant tornado or the sandstorms, which actually did add a whole lot to the game, at least from my experience. Or the Levolution from Battlefield 4, like making the entire skyscraper collapse or being able to destroy a dam and it actually changed a part of the map. And we really didn't get any of that in this game, and I don't understand why, because nobody asked DICE for them not to put that in any other Battlefield games. I mean, all of that just really made it engaging and a cool thing to do on the maps. So hopefully, they bring back, dynamic weather, Levolution, and some of the new expansion maps they bringing out, because these maps are just way too boring for me. But that being said, if you've been waiting for a Battlefield game to get back into the series, this is the game you've been waiting for. Like I said, the controls are great outside of the new movement being a pain in the ass to deal with sometimes. The gunplay is still fun. It's all as it always been. And, the new gun customization for the loadouts is great. Hell, I would even go to say it's better than COD. The maps are okay. Like I said, the terrain is flat and it's boring. And it's boring without the levolution or any of the dynamic weather they had in the other Battlefield games. And the sound design, like I said, it's top tier. But what did you think about Battlefield 6? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is there anything I missed? Let me know down in the comments. Hey, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.